Sripada Srivallabha Charitamrutam, Chapter 32. Description of Nava Nathas. After touching the lotus feet of Sripada Srivallabha, I asked, Lord, I hear that there are great Siddha yogis named as Nava Nathas and that they are quasi-incarnations of Lord Datta. I pray to Sri Charan to accept my prayer and tell me about them. I grasped that on hearing the name of Nava Nathas, an ambrosial shower from the eyes of Sri Vallabha was streaming out into the external creation. I saw in his looks the consciousness of love shown by a mother cow on its young calf. He was gratified and spoke like this: My dear ones, Maschendra, Gorakshaka, Jhalandara, Gahani, Adbhanga, Chauranga, Bhartari, Charpata, and Naganada are Navanathas. Mere remembrance of them gives auspicious results. The grace of Lord Datta would certainly be on those who recollect the names of Navanathas. Some years before the commencement of Kali Yuga, Sri Krishna, surrounded by great devotees like Uddhava and all Yadavas, thought about Navanarayanas, who are now called Navanathas. Emperor Rishabha had 100 sons. Among those 100 sons, 9 of them had the Narayana Amsa, that is, fractional faculties of Narayana, and were called Navanarayanas. The names are Kavi, Hari, Antarikshudu, Prabudhudu, Pippalayanudu, Avirhotrudu, Dhrumiludu, Chamasudu, and Karabhajanudu. All of them were Siddha Purushas who were in a state of Avadutas. As per my command, and to comply with the promise made in the Krishna incarnation, and to conduct the mission of establishment of Dharma, they were born on this earth as Navanathas. Kavi was born as Maschendranath. Hari was born as a disciple of Maschendranath under the name of Gorakshaka. Antariksha was born as Jalandhara and Prabuddha as his disciple under the name of Kanifa. Pippalayana was born as Charbhatha. Avirhotra was born as Nageshwanatha. Drumila under the name Bhartarinatha, Chamasa under the name of Revananatha were born. Karabhajan was born under the name of Gahininada. In the beginning of creation, the semen of Brahma leaked due to some reason. Vyasa Maharshi wrote in Bhavishya Purana that many sages would be born in many places from that semen. There was one Uparichara Vasuvu. He was enamored of Urvashi. His sperm leaked and fell into the Yamuna river. A fish drank it. From that fish, Maschendranath was born. Shiva burnt Cupid into ashes with the fire from his forehead. In that ash, the soul of Cupid was lying in a subtle form. When one king named Bruhadrada was performing a yagna, Jalandharanath emerged from the fire altar of that sacrifice. From the semen of Brahma that fell into Reva or Narmada river, Revanna Siddha was born. Some sperm of Brahma fell on the hood of a snake. That snake ate it, thinking it was a food item. So it became pregnant. Janamejaya was performing Sarpayaga. A sage by name Astika rescued this great serpent from destruction. He hid that serpent nymph Padmini, daughter of Takshaka, in the hole of a big Audumbra tree. Avirhotra had to be born from that embryo embedded in the womb. The daughter of Takshaka kept that embryo in the hollow of that Audumbra tree and left for her native place. From that, Avirhotra was born under the title Vata Siddha Naganatha. When Maschendranath was wandering in the country, he gave some holy ash charged with mantra to a issueless lady. She was having no faith, and she threw that ash into the heaps of rubbish and sweepings. As that holy ash was having great power, Gorakshanath emerged from that. During the marriage of Parvati, Brahma, who officiated as priest for the ceremony, became distracted on seeing the beauty of Parvati. On account of that, his semen leaked. He was ashamed, and that he rubbed that semen with the heel of his leg, concealing it from all. That rubbed semen became 60,000 parts, and from that 60,000 sages called Valakiyalas were born. Some part of it that was still left turned into waste, and it fell into river Bhagirathi, that gradually moved into the grassy shrub in the river bank and was caught there. The soul of Pippalayana entered into it, and a Navanatha by name, Charpatanath, was born. A sage by name Kaulika, while going from his hut for collecting alms, kept the begging bowl outside the hut. At that exact time, the sperm of sun dropped into it. The Maharshi who noticed it preserved it there. Bhartari means begging bowl. So, Bhartarinath was called like that because he was born from the begging bowl. In the Himalaya mountain, in a dense forest, a big elephant was sleeping. On seeing Saraswati, Brahma was smitten with infatuation, and as a result, his sperm leaked. Providentially, that semen fell into the ear of that elephant. One person called Prabuddha took life from that, and as he was born out of the ear of the elephant, he became famous under the name Karnakanifa as one among the Nava Nathas. Goraksha prepared a clay human being image chanting the Sanjeevani mantra. From that image, due to the efficacy of Sanjeevani mantra, Karabhanjana came to life and was born with the name Gahani Nada. These Navakrishnas or Navanarayanas preserved their gross bodies in the Mandara mountains and incarnated on earth with their potencies as Navanathas, and participated in the program of establishment of Dharma. Then I questioned, Jai Jai unto Guru Sarvabhauma. You said that Navanatha incarnations were the quasi-incarnations of Navakrishnas. Oh Lord, is there any difference between Navakrishnas and Navanathas? Sri Sripada was all smiles and directed us towards his gracious looks mixed with divine love. He proclaimed, I am the great Sankalpa for all this creation, my dear ones. The Sankalpas of all gods and goddesses are only fractions of my great resolve. These fractional intentions will have independence to a limited extent. A cultivator ties a cow to a tree. He ties it with a long rope. That cow can graze only up to the distance allowed by the rope. It means that the cow has a predetermined limited space in which it can graze. It can graze subject to those limitations. It implies that it was granted a restricted liberty. It can graze freely in the zone of freedom granted to it. If it has to cross those limits, for grazing it must necessarily have the permission of the farmer. When the fodder at that particular place exhausted, the farmer would tie it to another tree or lengthens a rope if it is retained at the same tree. In the same fashion, the quasi-incarnations will be granted independence subject to certain canons of dharma and karma. Therefore, the resolve emanates from the prime nature. The responsibility of implementing it would be entrusted to the part incarnations. When any problems crops up, these fractioned incarnations submit those difficulties to the prime phenomenon. They bring the grace from the Mula Tattva and cause welfare to the living beings. As the fractional incarnations of the main nature do not have bad qualities like lust, hate, arrogance, etc., they are capable of performing all the activities that the Mula Prakriti is capable of. Therefore, as far as living beings are concerned, there is no difference even if an incarnation comes as a Purna avatar or as a Amsha avatar.